Good evening, everyone. As you can see, I am back at my normal setup. We got the big American flag backdrop. I'm back home now. And first, I want to thank everyone from PIR for subscribing to my channel. Just today, I got hundreds of new subscribers. So we are growing. Our channel is growing. Our platform is growing. And now I have a bigger megaphone to yell at these mindless liberals and talk some sense into them as they are pro-crime, as they are anti-police. I'm going to have a bigger, giant, louder megaphone to yell at these people and talk some sense into them. So I want to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel. And now we got some big news that we need to dissect, that we need to talk about today. So Joe Biden just announced his VP pick, which is Kamala Harris, and let's be honest here. The VP pick is not really a VP pick in the colloquial sense. It is really a P pick because, as we know, Joe Biden isn't running anything. Joe Biden is like an abandoned Avatar suit that any of the radical Dems can just put on and take over and take control of the country. And if the Biden administration actually does come to power, let's be honest here, it's going to be Kamala Harris, it's going to be AOC sitting behind that suit, pushing the buttons and taking control. That being said, I am pretty surprised that Joe Biden chose Kamala Harris as his VP pick, because if you watch the Democratic debates, Kamala Harris came at him with vitriol, came at him with some very pointed attacks. And before you say, okay, well, that was just a debate, of course she's going to come at him hard in a debate, I want to be specific about the types of attacks she was making on Joe Biden. It's one thing in a debate if you just say, well, I'm a better candidate and this is why, I have more experience, this is why I have a better track record. That's not what she was saying. She was accusing Joe Biden of supporting racist politicians and racist policies that personally affected her. Just watch.
But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
You can almost guarantee the Trump campaign is going to be using this as an anti-Biden ad. I mean, it's almost just too perfect when you have his VP pick accusing him of supporting racist politicians and supporting racist policies. But the bigger story here, and what I really, really want to cover, and the entire point of this video, is to point out how dangerous Kamala Harris is. In my opinion, she is one of the most evil politicians in American history. And I don't say this lightly, because I think that there is almost this culture where we like to overly use extreme language, where everyone that you don't like is a Nazi and everyone you don't agree with is a racist. I don't like when people use overly extreme language. That being said, this is not an overreach. This is not an exaggeration in the slightest. When I say Kamala Harris is downright evil, and I have evidence to suggest that this is the case, and I'm going to present it to you right here. Or better yet, how about I let Tulsi Gabbard tell you, because Tulsi Gabbard, another Democratic politician, came after Kamala Harris in the Democratic debates, and I mean, she said it better than anyone. So here she is.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
These are some really heinous acts, and you're welcome to watch the rest of the clip. You can find the uncut clip on CNN. It's pretty easy to find, and I want to point out that when Kamala Harris responds, she is unable to refute any of the things that Tulsi Gabbard had said because they're 100% factual. And one thing that I really want to expand on, because it is just so sinister, it's so evil, you have to be a complete scumbag of a person to do this, is when Tulsi Gabbard mentioned that she was blocking DNA evidence that would have set a man that was on death row, that would have set him free and proved that would have proved his innocence. That man's name is Kevin Cooper, and he was being charged with a quadruple homicide. And when DNA evidence became available, she tried to block this DNA evidence from being able to be used by the courts in what would have proved his innocence. And I just can't think of anything more sinister that a district attorney can do. What kind of person do you have to be to block DNA evidence as someone is on death row about to be killed for a crime that they did not commit? You have to be a truly evil, evil person to want to block DNA evidence, to want to have an innocent person killed. I mean, this is what would make everyone lose faith in our justice system. When we start killing innocent people, when we start blocking evidence from becoming available. You would think as a district attorney, you want the most evidence possible to be presented at a court case, so that way we can truly know beyond reasonable doubt that the person that is being sentenced, that the person that is being punished for the crime is indeed the perpetrator of that crime. Or if the person is innocent, they are let go and not punished for a crime that they did not commit. And Kamala Harris violated her duty as district attorney for a fair trial for blocking DNA evidence that would have set this man free. And like I said, I mean, I just can't think of anything that is more sinister, that is more evil. You have to truly be a really dark-hearted person to do something like this. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you like it. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe, and I will see you all next time.